This is me. That's a real sponsor. Good God, look at the size of your head. All right, welcome back to Shut Up and Ride. Here's my Q&A. I asked everybody, ask me anything, and I'm gonna deliver. If I'm not looking at the camera, it's because this is weird. All right, let me start. So Carlos asked, so you wake up in the morning, you have millions of subscribers, and all of the YouTube money you could possibly want. What content would you be making? Probably the same, although I'm making a very brand new channel now. Someone asked, why don't you wear socks? Because socks are gross. Someone says, why shut up and ride? Keep in mind, or at least I try to, we're all very fortunate to do this mountain biking thing. And so when someone's out there whining, and that's been me before, I'll admit that, just shut up and ride. Did you give away Betty already? No, I haven't. Betty doesn't get given away until I get my 10,000th. I can't say that well. I have to hit 10,000 subscribers to do that. Do you have any road or hybrid bikes? I do. I sold my road bikes after doing Ironman stuff, but I still have a gravel grinder. Will there be a Shut Up and Ride World Tour? I am on the Shut Up and Ride World Tour as we speak. How long does it take for you to edit a video? My videos are typically about 5 minutes, and I would say for every minute, every delivered minute I have, it's probably an hour per minute. Where will you hit the trail next on a mountain bike? It's going to be Arizona. My job is starting actually today, and I am back in Arizona, and so I'm back in Arizona. That's where. Why do you paint your toenails? Serious question, not being a dick. I appreciate that. A long time ago, when the kids were really young, and I have nieces, and they get into toenail polish, do you know how happy it makes them if you let them paint your toes and they just grab you a beer, you just sit there and chat with somebody? So I got into it that way, and then I just started getting pedicures. And that happened. So I've been doing it ever since, and it makes me feel pretty. Do you think that building trails is just as important as riding them? Yeah, it is, maybe more so. My friend Roy asked, what's your favorite post-ride meal? Tater tots. Do you have any of your students that follow you on YouTube or ride with you? The answer is, I don't think there's very many at all, although I've had 60,000 students in the last bunch of years. Has anyone ridden with me? Yeah, I took one of my students last year, Johnny, and I made a video of it actually. What do you prefer, hardtail or full suspension? If I only had to pick one, I'd pick a hardtail. How does an overweight 50-year-old with a mountain bike in the basement get motivated to put the beer and chips down? That's up to you. You don't need motivation. You need discipline. You've simply got to decide when you get tired enough of being 50 pounds overweight, or maybe you don't. Maybe you're good with that. That's up to you. My friend Cameron, tell us how you divide your time between Arizona and Oregon. So I teach, it's called teaching on the ground and not online. So I'm face-to-face with students from basically September to May. And so I'm fortunate enough to have bought a very cheap piece of land a long time ago in Oregon. And my wife and I and our 2 dogs go up there pretty much all summer. Is an MBA worth it nowadays? My friend Alex asked that. I think only if you have a very specific job in mind that you need an MBA for. My friend Ben, how do you keep your hair so good looking? Look, this doesn't happen by accident. You have to work at it. What's your worst injury riding a mountain bike? When I was in shredded shape after one of my many midlife crises, if that's a way to put that, I was going really fast around this corner, and my friend Dave was following me very, very quickly, and I have always been clipped in, I hit a rock because I still have a bad habit of having a foot low. My pedal hit a rock, and all I could remember is flying through the air and thinking, that's weird. One of my pedals didn't come off my foot. And then the next thing I remember was Dave waking me up. I'd fallen on a giant cheese grater, it seemed like. And I was lucky I had a doctor there, so I was knocked out. Shane says, those are interesting looking shady rays. He's probably referring to these. And I'll be very honest with you, these are my actual glasses I ride with. These are Rudy Project, and unfortunately they're very, very expensive. And yes, I do like my shady rays. However, they're a lifestyle sunglass, and they don't always work really well. In Arizona, they're great. The darker, the better. There's no forest to go through. But in Oregon, that's a real problem. Paul asks, when do you expect to retire? Never. I love my job. I'm one of the fortunate people that does. You said you had a back surgery. Does it bother you flying kites or riding? I'm very fortunate. I had back surgery when I was 18 years old. Unfortunately, there was no MRIs back then. It actually paralyzed my legs and they atrophied, and it took a lot of PT to get back, but I'm very, very fortunate I can do stuff. What are your tips for staying fit after 50, 60, or whatever? You just have to want to, I think, at least. Has your channel been lucrative for you? No. I have made less than $400 from YouTube since April of 18. I can tell you, my friend Joe, Mr. Tonka, I DM'd him one night and I said, hey, why do you do this? And he had the perfect answer, simply a creative outlet, and that's it. What age did you learn to bike? I don't know, 5, 6, 7. I guess you're asking when did I start mountain biking? The second I saw one, I had to have one. What's your longest ride to date, when and where? My longest ride ever is I've done about a dozen centuries on a road bike. I did the 112-mile part of the Ironman. That was pretty long. But I think my longest was from Scottsdale, Arizona to Pine, Arizona. It was a ride called The Answer. It's 96 miles, but it's a 9,600 vertical feet gain. So that's my longest. On a mountain bike, it's probably 60 miles. What's your most frightening experience on a bike? Probably that injury I talked about earlier. How long have you been a college professor? Coming up to my 17th year. I guess bonus information. Before that, I was a database guy, so I'm not like that been in college all my life guy. I worked for myself for about 15 years. Before that, I worked in a bank, and before that, I was a tennis professional. Here, I'll show you. I brought a picture, show and tell. Here, let me make sure I can see this. This is me. That's a real sponsor. I don't remember how old I was. I think I was 30 something. And this is cut out of the pages of Sports Illustrated. It was fun. I just wasn't good enough player to make a really good living, but I did it for about 4 years. Do you supplement with anything like testosterone? I had my testosterone checked. It was fun. And my doctor said I'm doing just fine, but he said I should check every now and then. All right, that's my Q&A. I think I'm gonna do this again. Brian Kennedy keeps telling me, hey, you need to get out there. And so I am. Anyway, thank you for everyone that subscribes. Have a good day. My life is gonna be incredibly busy here pretty soon. So, don't forget, shut up and ride.